I'm telling you, it's the buttermilk and the cream cheese.
I've never made it like that.
They come out super fluffy. The trick is to freeze the fat, actually.
So it keeps that cornmeal consistency.
Right.
Scalpel.
Oh, God damn it.
Which one is that?
The X-Acto knife.
Okay, well then say X-Acto knife.
No, because it's supposed to be a scalpel, but...
Hey, fellas. What you doing?
Not now, man. I'm working. Goat testicle.
Goat testicle.
Eli, are you putting goat testicles inside Noah?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to, but Butterfingers over here has dropped 3 of them, so... Yeah.
I wanted to be the doctor. I quit the surgery. This is bullshit.
Wait, how did you convince Noah to do this?
Oh, he was in as soon as I said I stole a bunch of drugs from the hospital. He was just like, yep.
Fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
How many goat testicles have you put inside of him?
7?
And the potato.
Oh, and a tiny potato.
How is he still alive? How is his heart still beating?
Oh, this? Yeah, that's just sound effects. Found them on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, we die a lot.
Hello, and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts. Because this is the internet, and that unfortunately is how it works now. I'm Tom, and I'll be driving this remarkably small bus to our destination today, but it wouldn't be the same without our panel of passengers. Please welcome 2 guys that both ate a bug because they misheard drug. Heath and Noah.
Thanks, Tom. You gonna finish that? No?
Honestly, I just eat the drumsticks. You can have the rest. I'm just trying to get them biblical. 4 legs on those fuckers.
And also joining us tonight, 2 people that can get gum caught in their hair on every square centimeter of their body, Eli and Cecil.
Joke's on you, Tom. I am horrifyingly smooth.
And I'm like a bubblicious black hole.
No one's arguing there, Cecil.
No.
Now I want to pause for just a second and be serious. If you or someone you know suffers from not giving us money, there's a cure. You can be cured. That's right. For only $1 a show, we will have 4 of your dollars a month, which we want to have. And from many of you so that we have many dollars a month and thus electricity and food. Many of our listeners have already been cured from not giving us money, but sadly, we know many more of you have yet to donate to our non-charitable vices. If you'd like to learn how to join the ranks of the cured, be sure to stick around till the end of the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Noah, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
Well, thanks to my current favorite person, patron Emily, for the suggestion. Today we're going to be talking about goat testicle transplant surgeon extraordinaire, John R. Brinkley.
Finally, a cure for what ails me. Cecil, you read the article and stuffed yourself with goat balls in anticipation. Are you ready to tell us about how to get an erection lasting 4 hours? Asking for a friend.
I'm the friend.
I have had my share of goat balls. Thanks for asking.
You gonna finish those or?
No, you can go ahead. No, it's you. It's all you.
Excellent.
This guy was so much more than just a goat ball guy, though. I mean, yeah, he's a radio station owner, a gubernatorial candidate, as well as a famous quack.
Well, let's dig in. Tell us about John Brinkley.
John R. Brinkley was born in 1885. His father was a medic in the Civil War, and he lived as a mountain man. He had 4 wives.
First mistake?
And second, third, and fourth mistakes.
And the first marriage was annulled because he was too young for North Carolina to be married.
Wow. Not great.
At the age of 42,
his first words were, I do? Like, how does that even work in North Carolina? Did he have to fucking learn it on signing time?
Kidding, right?
Would you, madam, like us to put this baby back inside?
Oh, yes. At the age of 42, his father, also named John, married a woman named Sarah. And her 24-year-old niece came to live with them. And her name was also Sarah. So to differentiate, they started calling Brinkley Sr.'s wife Sally. Well, Brinkley Sr. then knocked up the niece through marriage, and they had a baby out of wedlock. And that baby was John R. Brinkley.
Okay, this story already has the lineage of a Game of Thrones episode. Hold on a second.
It does.
I'm going to write this shit down.
And the plot of my internet history. Let me wipe this shit down.
You gonna finish that, or? Speaking of bubblicious black hole, that's a great tab. Great tab.
All right, so we're going to skip the boring childhood stuff and jump right to young adulthood. John is married at this time to a woman he met in his hometown. John always wanted to become a doctor, so he and his wife stayed at a Holiday Inn Express one night, and they told everyone they were Quaker doctors. And they traveled from town to town selling what they called patent medicine, which was something that was advertised heavily but didn't necessarily have the effect on what it was curing. Then he moved on to selling virility tonics.
Wait a second. Did he star in Shallow Hal? I know this story, right?
It's a dildo and a steam iron with a laser beam attached to its head. That's right. It's a real thing she sold. Yep. Real thing. Gwyneth Paltrow. Check it out. Goop. Yep.
So to prove that not only millennials suffer with debilitating college loan debt, Brinkley enrolled in a for-profit college called Bennett Medical College, where he studied eclectic medicine.
What?
He was working at night at Western Union and taking classes during the day.
All right, listen, I've been looking for a way to dramatically increase my debt burden, so tell me more about Bennett College.
So at Bennett, which was an unaccredited medical school with, quote, questionable curricula, unquote, he studied glandular extracts.
Jeez. Sounds like the University of California, Irvine. That's what you get now. That's what you get, University of California, Irvine.
All right, son, what are you majoring in? I'm majoring in glandular extracts. Do you mean cum, son? Yes. Are you going to finish that? I do mean cum.
The wiki article seems to think that this is an aha moment for Brinkley, and this was the motivation that would be the focus of his later career.
Cum laude, cum honors. This episode is mostly about cum.
Well, it is
It's a
now.
heavily cum-based
You
episode.
know what episode will also mostly be about cum?
Not goat cum. Well,
John,
maybe.
Maybe. We haven't
We don't know.
revealed-
I got to check
Let me do the
Wikipedia.
show and we'll find out. Let's give me a try for once.
Brinkley then decided to up his credit hours to take more shifts at work. This didn't do great things for his credit score or his marriage as his debts piled up and his wife left them with their kid. Now, Brinkley then kidnapped his own kid and fled to Canada. And since his wife couldn't get the proper paperwork to extradite the child back to the USA, she wound up dropping the alimony suit.
Slow down. I'm taking notes. Slow down. Need to go back in time. Just all I need is just to go back in time.
All I need is one flux capacitor.
That's it.
Just one
Is that
flux
too much to ask?
capacitor. Brinkley then comes back to Chicago and they, quote, reunited their rocky marriage, unquote. I don't know. When he was done with his third year of studies, his pregnant wife left him again and headed back to North Carolina to give birth to their daughter. He followed and left all his college debt behind to become a, quote, undergraduate physician.
Whoa. Quick, just, I just hold on. Point of clarification. Is an undergraduate physician literally impossible? Like, listen, you have to.
Right.
Physician.
That's everyone.
Not undergraduate. Fuck.
We're all undergraduate physicians.
And answer quickly, Cecil, because I have a scalpel.
I think it's good what Eli's doing. We need more surgical outsiders. You know what I'm saying? Drain the swamp. It's important.
Is that what that's called?
No, that's a stomach.
Yeah.
So needless to say, it was not his destined profession, and he made very little money, and he headed to St. Louis to try to enroll in medical school there.
In all of American history, nobody was ever simultaneously doing well and heading to St. Louis. Mutually exclusive propositions, guys.
Bennett College wouldn't send his transcripts down there, though, because he still owed him a bunch of money. So he bought a diploma in eclectic medicine from the Kansas City Eclectic Medical University.
That it can't be a real thing.
Well, it kind of wasn't, actually. The Kansas City Eclectic Medical University was a diploma mill, which is, I think, a big machine that harvests free-range diplomas and then just grinds them down into useless paste. He then headed back to the Carolinas to be a graduate physician, I guess. Then he and his partner, James Crawford, started a shop called the Greenville Electromedic Doctors.
Catchy name. I love it. I love it. I would go there. Is it still in business? I'm making an appointment. Is that
It's like buzzword the clinic.
The electric Kool-Aid acid doctors.
I only go to electromedic doctors. I don't go to I tried the hydroelectric, but it was not my cup of tea.
A lot of draining on that one. They went into the impotency market, injecting colored water into people for $25, which roughly translates to about $600 in modern currency.
Jesus.
All right. I'm assuming the colored water comes from a separate fountain? What does that mean? What year was this?
Yeah. So he tells his patients that it was a substance called salvarsan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which was a treatment for syphilis.
I thought it was a treatment for impotency.
Yeah. the
Those go
substance
hand
he's
in hand
lying
quite
about-
often.
How are these
Yeah.
impotent guys getting syphilis? What the fuck? I don't know. I don't know.
So the business doesn't work out,
Oh,
actually.
shocking.
Which I, for the life of me, just seriously can't figure out. It seems like the startup costs on food coloring and a needle can't be too much. But in any case, they fled the town of Greenville, South Carolina because of unpaid rent, unpaid utility bills, and a bunch of other debt.
Well, I feel like, just to help you out here, Cecil, untreated syphilis patients, shitty pool of repeat customers.
I guess
You
that's
get
true.
one pop at those guys.
Literally.
Sadly, this was long before we learned all that important stuff from those experiments with the black airmen. Yeah. That's my essay next week, by the way.
You can tell by our great reaction how excited we are.
All right, Cecil. So once you flee the Carolinas, I'm not sure where there is actually left to go. So who takes you in after the Carolinas spit you out?
That would be Memphis, Tom.
Oh, well, there you go.
And this is where Brinkley met and married his second wife while still married to the first one. This one was Minnie.
Hey. They prefer to be called little people.
Squip it, biddle it down.
He wrote that down. He wrote squid dip diddly bow. It's written down.
So Minnie and he went to Knoxville on their honeymoon, where they were promptly caught by the authorities and sent back to Greenville. Brinkley then blamed all the fraud on his business partner and told them where to find Crawford. They caught him, and the two settled with the local businesses, with Crawford paying all but $200 out of the several $1,000s that they owed them. And Brinkley didn't even pay his money. His new father-in-law did after he bailed him out of jail.
Wow, that's nice. I think my father-in-law would visit me to gloat. Maybe.
So he heads back to Memphis with his new bride, probably to couch surf on his father-in-law's place or something. And then he's accused of being a bigamist by his former, current, first legal wife.
Well, she would know.
Yeah.
Right?
So he leaves. I mean, what do you do when you're accused of bigamy but leave? And he eventually winds up in Kansas City. And with a little extra money, he finally pays off his Sallie Mae loans to Bennett College, and they send his transcripts to the Kansas City Eclectic Medical University so he can finish his final year and get a diploma that allowed him to practice medicine in 8 whole states.
Okay, but just to be clear, eclectic medicine is nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically
Yeah.
healing with trail mix, which means the fake doctors in Kansas City were like, okay, well, how do we know if you passed Rub Dirt in It 401? You got to show us the credits on your transcript.
All right, see, so we've got a real wonderful, upstanding character here. When exactly are we getting to the goat testicles? Yeah, no agenda. I'm asking for a friend. Just curious.
On the friend,
Yeah.
still the friend.
I'm hungry. You guys hungry?
Well, at this point in our story, the Wikipedia says, quote, while in Kansas City, Brinkley took a job as the doctor for the Swift & Company plant, patching minor wounds and studying animal physiology. It was here that Brinkley learned that the popular opinion held that the healthiest animal slaughtered at the plant was the goat, something that would prove pivotal to his later medical career.
All right, so it seems finally like the goat balls are looming over the horizon. Just another beautiful day here in America. Let's take a short break, then rush right back to hear how this guy can cure impotence for only 4 easy payments.
So So, what appears to be the problem, my boy?
Well, doctor, it's my wife, you see. We're having trouble connecting on what you might call a physical level.
I see. Well, there's a new medical treatment that's seeing miraculous results. We cut you open using old-timey surgical tools. I will not wash my hands. I fill your body with the bloody remains of animal genitals, and we see if your dick works.
I don't know, Doc. That sounds kind of risky.
I see. Well, you could try cunnilingus.
Goat testicles. Let's do it right here. I'm ready. And the final stop on our tour of the Brinkley Medical Clinic is the Goat Transplant Center. We have a patient prep for surgery, and the doctor will be joining us momentarily. Oh, that's him now.
That's a goat.
It is a goat.
Yeah. It's in scrubs.
Well, because it's a doctor goat.
What?
It's our goat transplant center.
So the goat is the one doing the operating?
The goat. Yes, Dr. Williams is our head surgeon.
Okay, he's just pushing around the scalpel with his paw. That's not even
his hoof, sir.
Okay, whatever. He can't even grip it.
It's not
ridiculous.
a matter of where he grips it. He often doesn't even use a scalpel. He's more of a hands-on doctor.
He doesn't have hands.
That's an expression.
Okay. Well, why are they rubbing his balls with peanut butter? This is confusing.
The incision area.
Well, we're back from that. So, all right. This is the thing that we do. When we last left John Brinkley, he had a brilliant Kevin Trudeau type of idea that they didn't want you to know about. So what happened next?
Kevin changed his name to Justin and became the president of Canada.
Nope. I was going to say so close, but no.
Not really, no.
Nope, it's not. He's wrong about every single thing. Everything.
So we fast forward to 1918, and Brinkley opens a 16-room medical clinic in Milford, Kansas. At this point, the article turns a little positive and says that Brinkley actually did some good work with the people of the town during the influenza outbreak of 1918. It says that he nursed many of the people back to health, and they do not mention that he did this using any animal testicles.
Yeah. Son of Sam made a hell of a taco salad. Not enough people focus on that when you think about it.
I would if I'd known it.
So now you know.
The story of his starting to use goat balls comes from his biography, where he gets the idea to help someone with impotence. He supposedly made a joke to the person about putting a, quote, pair of those buck glands in you. And the person offered him $150 to do the operation. Other reports from the patient's son revealed that the patient was offered a lot of money to go through with it by Brinkley.
Yeah, the best medical practices start with $20, $50, $75, Alan, $75.
$100 and I'm the back of the centipede. Final offer.
Deal.
Wait, front. I meant front. I completely meant front.
Too late. I'll give you the front if you do the goat balls thing.
Fuck. Fine. But let me see your diploma.
No.
Well, it turned out that the goat testicle operation was somewhat successful in the sense that more people wanted them, not that they were efficacious in any way.
Right.
He would put the nuts in the guy's sack, or he would just place them near the ovaries in the abdomen of the woman and charge $750 for the trouble. This is about $9,000 in today's currency.
See, nowadays they just infuse a belt with essence of goat balls and wrap it around your waist. Because millennials are lazy.
I'm sorry. Have you ever essentialized a goat testicle in this housing market? I'm just saying.
What's that? Hold on a minute. Can we go back? Just like actual goat, like just stick the goat balls just free floating in there?
Yeah.
Like it's just meat. They just.
Yes, Tom. Yes. The answer is yes. The testicles in the operations were basically absorbed by the body. So the operation was somewhat harmless.
So harmful. somewhat harmless equals harmful.
Right.
Pretty clear.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. And Brinkley was not harmless, by the way. He had shitty training, worked on people while drunk, and didn't clean equipment. So people got infections. And the wiki says, quote, an undetermined number died. Brinkley would be sued more than a dozen times for wrongful death between 1930 and 1941. Unquote.
It's not even one a year, though. Like, that sounds bad.
Well, and two, if you're voluntarily having goat balls sewn into your body, your death is not wrongful. Yeah. You deserved that shit.
So why did these people come flocking to Brinkley to stuff foreign matter into their bodies? Well, the first person to get the operation knocked up his wife. So Brinkley hired advertisers and they came up with a slogan. They can turn a hapless man into the ram that am with every lamb.
Great line.
And that probably means something in pre-World War II speak.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All about the catchphrase.
Oh my God.
With every lamb. This is decidedly less offensive than the goat ball related billboard slogan Eli wanted to put up. So
See, you say we should do things for publicity. You want more people to listen to the show, but then when I'm coming up with the ideas,
Dude, the eye socket thing didn't even make sense, though. It's got to make sense. What would that even?
I'm sorry, Heath. I didn't hear you spewing ideas. I came up with pictures. I hired an artist. I went on Fiverr. I got kicked off Fiverr, and then I went on Craigslist.
You know what was a better idea than that? Nothing. Silence.
So in 1920, Brinkley traveled to Chicago because another doctor, do we still call these people doctors? Anyway,
Why did we start calling them doctors?
At the University of Chicago, there's another, and I'm using these air quotes here, doctor that was putting monkey balls in people. And so Brinkley showed up uninvited and they wouldn't let him in.
We do monkey balls only at this hospital. This is serious. Get out of here.
oh God, tell me there was
charlatan.
a fight. Tell me there was a big fight. There was a fucking animal ball infusing fight.
They're just throwing balls at each other like it's like a.
One of them pulls out a ping pong ball thing and racket and he's beating him around. So
He's got one tied to a paddle with a string on it. Walking.
in the corner, there's a goat crossing its legs, just watching it.
He's got one tied. He's got a cup. He's like, I can get it in the cup like every time. And that's how he's trained. That was the first. That was the last class. That was his finals.
Man. Well, it wasn't a fight, but he did get some press, and it helped propel his business even further. And later, the UFC would ask him to come back and do some testicle additions to 34 patients while the press watched.
Like Bobby Fischer style? 34 patients? Or like...
Hi, I'm your surgeon. This is the goat I'm going to castrate. This is my blindfold. And the Holocaust was fake. Also, Chicago pizza is great, and I have reasonable opinions on things.
Wait, real quick, the press watched him do it to 34 patients. Like, now you're just jerking off to it. 34 patients? Like, you're not, like the first dozen or so, you didn't get the idea of what's going to happen. Now you're just, oh my God, I'm going to do it again.
You got all those tabs on your computer. They're all goat transplant tabs. So in 1922, John gets a call or a raven or whatever they used in 1922.
A piccolo.
Yeah.
What?
From a guy. From the guy. I'm not even going to address that. I'm just moving on.
What's a piccolo in your
From
head?
the guy.
It's like a small orange hat.
That is what they used.
Final answer.
So the guy from the LA Times, Harry Chandler, gives him a call and says, hey, Brinkley, come out and do the operation on one of my editors. And he says, I'll make Brinkley, quote, the most famous surgeon in America. So he comes out, but his medical license isn't any good in California. So the newspaper owner pulls some strings and gets him a 30-day permit to operate on people, which is a thing they did in 1922.
Free market.
A permit? So, like, you can cut people open, but there's a real doctor standing next to you just pumping the brakes, like grabbing your scalpel arm, slowing it down. What?
You can't do the operation if there's like 4 people under the age of 15 in your surgical suite.
All right, it's sundown. You have to stop. You have to just leave him there.
You got to practice a 3-point incision. Yeah. It's a temporary license to operate. They can't have gone well. Did it go well?
Well, the editor didn't die and was fine after, so I guess it's like a slam dunk. Mm-hmm. The LA Times owner does write about it in his paper. Brinkley then plans to head out there because of all that sweet movie money in Hollywood. But California Medical Board decides to tell him that he can't practice in the state because, quote, his resume was riddled with lies and discrepancies.
See, I find that's a great way to start a best friendship. So it's weird how that works out differently for different people.
All right. So what's next? Does he take this crazy shit on the road?
Recognizing the power of the media, Brinkley heads back to Kansas and builds a 1 kilowatt radio station called KFKB. Around this time, people are starting to crack down on diploma mills and quack doctors, and someone comes from California to arrest him for being a fraud. The governor of the state of Kansas, however, decided that Brinkley makes too much money, so they declined to extradite him.
How awesome is whiteness, am I right? Always has been.
It's the best
Brinkley's just watching a runaway slave get taken away in a paddy wagon. I think I'll put a mouse penis in a dog today. America.
So Brinkley used his station to promote his goat gland transplants. But the programming on the station was, like his medical degree, eclectic. They played Hawaiian songs, old-timey string music, did some French lessons, astrological forecasts, and played gospel and early country music. So he makes some fat cash off the radio advertising, and he wound up building up his community by putting in sidewalks, electricity, apartments, and a new post office because the old one was overwhelmed with all the mail he's getting. He was made an admiral in the Kansas Navy by the governor, which is a joke award because Kansas is landlocked, the hilarity. And they also had a baseball team called the Brinkley Goats.
I bet he wanted it to be called the Goat Balls, but they cut him off there. I love it. Who knew? Wichita, the town that Goat Balls built, right?
If you
Shocker,
build it,
I know.
they will come. Like a goat.
So people who listened to his radio stations would send letters to him. He would answer the medical questions, telling these people to go out and buy his brand of cure-all from the local pharmacy. This medicine was marked up like crazy, and he got royalties from it.
Okay, please tell me he ends up in jail with balls inside of him like Martin Shkreli.
Sadly, no. He just got rich. He generated $14,000 in weekly profit, which calculated to $10.5 million a year in the current value.
And in that moment, I had a new hero.
Animal Pharma, bro.
Well, due to the American Medical Association trying to shut him down and the local paper posting stories about his quackery, the medical board pulls his license. There were 42 death certificates that he signed as a doctor.
Good. This is good. No more medical license. This seems like the right number of medical licenses, actually. It's the right one. So what did he do next?
Well, after losing his medical license, he also lost his broadcasting license.
Hand in hand. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Hand in hand.
So what he does is he decides to run for governor so he could just handpick the people who would give his licenses back to him. He must have learned something from his time in Chicago.
Oh, how to drink pizza? I'll have 2 pints, please, of pizza.
That actually sounds really delicious.
Great.
He campaigned on promises of a state lake in every county.
That's a great idea.
That's great.
That's a great idea.
Lower taxes, better pensions, and appealing to the immigrant vote. He had a plane that took him to rallies, but even though he was a showman and he ran a pretty tight campaign, he had waited too long to enter the race, and he was a write-in candidate. Well, they changed the laws on purpose right before the election so that any write-in candidate had to have his exact name written. So 30 to 50,000 ballots were disqualified, and he lost. And if they would have counted, then we would be talking about a former governor and quack.
Well, the story's in Kansas right now, so it's not like this guy would have been bad compared to Sam Brownback. You can talk about him for a little while.
So he tried to run again in 1932, and he lost to a guy named Alf Landon, a space alien that would later get a TV show about eating cats. He took his radio station and sold it, and he headed to the Mexican border to broadcast with impunity. So he broadcast for a few years in Mexico. His station was originally 150,000 watts and eventually became a 1 million watt station, which the article contends was the largest on the planet at the time.
Oh, he probably sewed goat balls into the transmitter is what it is. How that works.
Probably.
The radio station was so strong that according to accounts, it could turn on car headlights and could be heard on metal fences. I have no idea if that's true.
Really? No idea? You have no idea if that's true? I heard the radio tower was made of adamantium. It was run by cold fusion, and it had the power of invisibility. Brinkley is actually John Galt. It's all a true story. Absolutely. Atlas Shrugged is great.
I don't know how radio works. I'm with you, Cecil. I'm with you.
Brinkley eventually lost the radio station when the Mexican government came and closed up his shop because of pressure from the U.S. government. He moved to Texas, and he set up shop there doing vasectomies and prostrate rejuvenations. I have no idea what that would be, actually.
He lied to the nice people at home.
Probably true. He seemed to have a pretty good gig going on down there, and with a huge mansion, and some other doctor moves into the area and starts doing the same operations, but for less money. So Brinkley moves back to Arkansas, and he started a business there. And then the guy who's competing with him in Texas then opened up a clinic 150 miles away as competition.
Vasectomy fight!
Amazing.
Yeah.
Brinkley sees the new billboard for the other guy. 150 miles could save you 15% or more on goat balls. He's like, oh, come on. Really?
So now you like the slogan. This is the
Ridiculous. Undercutter's goat balls.
Undercutter's goat balls.
So he tries to sue a person for libel because they called him a quack, and it backfired. He lost the case. The jury stated that Brinkley, quote, should be considered a charlatan and a quack in the ordinary, well-understood meaning of those words, unquote.
Okay, all right. That sounds
Sounds a little damning. Yeah, a little, just a little. Yeah.
A bit.
After that, he's inundated with over $3 million in lawsuits. The IRS investigates him for tax fraud, and he declares bankruptcy. And then the post office investigated him for mail fraud. He was about as healthy as Eli. Let me quote the wiki page here. He suffered 3 heart attacks and an amputation of one of his legs due to poor circulation.
Jesus.
I feel like the cutting off the leg doesn't help. Am I wrong?
He wakes up in the hospital. Fuck, am I a centaur now? Hilarious, guys. Hilarious. All right. Gotta give it to you. This is actually pretty funny, but what the fuck?
He died on May 26th, 1942, with no money, being investigated for mail fraud.
All right, Cecil. If you had to summarize what you've learned in one sentence, what would it be?
Performing all these transplants takes balls.
Jesus Christ. Why do we ask that question? Can we stop at it's every time? And it's okay. Cecil, now that you've stuffed us with nuts, are you ready for the quiz?
As ready as a one-legged Brinkley in an ass-kicking contest.
Again.
All right, I'll go first. What was the most popular song Brinkley played on his radio station? Was it A, The Kids Are All Right? B, I like head butts and I cannot lie. C,
It's called Baby
Great
Got Back.
Balls of Liar. Or D, Wrecking Balls.
I'm going to go with D, Wrecking Balls.
That is correct.
Good answer.
Yeah.
All right, I got one for you here. According to patient reports, what was the most common negative side effect of having goat balls sewn into your body? A, having goat balls sewn into your body. B, other.
Oh, you make these too easy. No, it's got to be A. I mean, there's the other.
I didn't want to give you too much of a challenge here.
All right. Sewing goat balls into people seems weird. Granted, fine. What are some other crazy cures for impotence? A, grinding one out with ground baby crocodile hearts. B,
One vote.
whipping your junk and juncular region with a cat of 9 tails to stimulate blood flow. C.
1 vote.
2 votes. Juncular is an awesome word.
Right. C. Grinding up on wasp stingers.
Oh.
Or D. Trying to use your imagination instead of Pornhub. No, who we crapping? I'm not 14 anymore.
You don't even know what to think about, right? Like when you were a kid, it just was right there. And now as an adult, you're like, what the? I don't even know you're starting to think about the things. You have no idea. You're trying to remember porns, your favorites, but they all just blur together.
Bubblicious black hole, man. Bubblicious black hole. What's that?
I choose one of those answers.
All right, and that was the right one. Excellent choice.
If you can jerk off with your imagination, tweet at us and tell us how you do it, because I can't.
Don't do that.
I'm mostly choking myself while I do it, which
Yeah.
I'm not recommending you do. I don't want to get into
Actually, just Snapchat that with Eli.
it. Please.
I got one more for you. Which of the following is the best title for John R. Brinkley's memoirs? Is it A, Goaty McGoatface? Is it B, Strikes and Goater Balls? Is it C, I'm the guy who put goat balls in human beings by this book? That's an awesome title. Or is it D, Bleat Spay Love?
Yes.
Oh my God. How could it not be D? Jesus. D it is. That's amazing.
It is correct. Yes, D, it's Bleat Spay Love. Correct. Yeah.
All right. Well, Cecil, nobody stumped you with their made-up questions and even more made-up answers. So well done or not well done. I don't know how that works. Pick somebody. I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm going to choose uninvited Eli.
Best friend. I came to mine first. We don't have a schedule.
All right. Now I'll toss it over to Sarah for last week's Twitter answer and this week's Twitter question.
Thanks, Tom. Last week's question was, if you had to fake being crazy, what one phrase would get you committed? The winner was at the Preach Around on Twitter with this answer. I just decided to let Eli babysit my kids. Thanks to everyone for submitting answers. This week's question is, what animal transplant would you get if you had to get one? Pick an animal and a part of its body and tell us why. Just retweet or Facebook share this episode with your answer for a chance to be next week's winner. Back to you, Tom.
Terrific. Well, for Cecil, Eli, Noah, and Heath, I'm Tom. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week. And by then, Eli will be an expert on something else. Between now and then, you can listen to Cecil and I on Cognitive Dissonance, or you can hear Heath, Eli, and Noah on The Scathing Atheist, The Skeptocrat, and God Awful Movie. And if you'd like to help keep this show going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod, or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes, be sure to check out citationpod.com. And remember, if you can't beat them, fuck that. Beat them. Beat them all.
Hi, can I help you?
Yeah, I got a call that my wife is here. The last name's Cicerello.
Yes. Have a seat, Mr. Cicerello. Doctor will be with you shortly.
Is she okay?
Just sit tight. The doctor will be right out.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, I'm Dr. Nipples.
Damn it, Eli.
No, I'm Dr. Nipples.
I left work for this.
You should. This is very serious.
Animal Pharma Bro. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Animal Pharma.
I love it. I think it's great. Fuck you guys. That's funny.
Thank you, Cecil. Thank you, Cecil, and nobody
What's
else.
wrong with you guys? That's fucking hilarious.
The weirdly aggressive part of our show.
Animal Pharma Bro. I don't know if you guys heard.
See, that's the take because we all laughed at it. So that's the take.